and here we go. Becky and Bayley start things off. 5 minutes until the next entrant in this matchup, which will be the advantage to Becky's team, and Becky and Bayley go at one another. So Corey, in this match, what do you hope to accomplish in the first 5 minutes here?
You try to gain the upper hand. That's why, likely, Lynch and Bayley were chosen by their respective teams. You want to grab the upper hand and try your best to hold on. It's not easy to do, but it isn't impossible.
So again, what's the strategy when the match doesn't even begin till all the women are in the ring? That's when the pinfalls to submission happen. I could beat the hell out of everybody?
When you're in the ring, when you're Bayley or Lynch in this moment, the strategy remains the same. It's fight. It's swing at anything that moves. However, the onus should be on all the competitors who are still locked in the cages in the entryway. They have the benefit of a different perspective. They can essentially see the whole battlefield and detach themselves and hopefully strategize for what they're about to do next.
And of course, Bayley, who has done such a good job trying to manipulate and stir the pot between Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Bianca and Shotzi.
It was expert level trolling last night.
And now unique perspective with our camera that is perched on the top of the cage tonight. Becky sending Bayley to the middle of the ring. And now Becky Lynch has to roll through as Bayley ducks underneath and catches Becky with a kick to the midsection. So much history here in this match for all the women involved. So many stories to talk about throughout this as we kick off Survivor Series tonight. This crowd has been electric since we started. Sold out 17,000 plus here in Chicago.
Electric is right, dare I say, approaching nuclear. It is wild here tonight in Allstate Arena, and down goes Bayley.
Becky Lynch with a big clothesline, and she is fired up. Bianca understands that her team will get the advantage. They will have a participant. And her next, the Exploder from Becky Lynch, the former 6-time world champion. She's been an NXT champion. She's been a tag champ. Of course, she won the Royal Rumble as well. Two of the most decorated women in WWE history as Becky is sent flying into the cage, which, Corey, is so dangerous.
Steel cage, absolutely unforgiving. It will wreck your body. It will shred your flesh. It will leave scars that will remain for the rest of your career in life.
Are there any strategies that comes to the two rings?
When you utilize the real estate, I would think you would try to occupy the less crowded ring the majority of the time, but sometimes you don't have that option to make a choice. And this is downright insane. This is dangerous between the two rings.
Bayley looking for a suplex, and Becky able to block, Bayley to block as well. You see the steel that connects the rings, and now a suplex, and Becky Lynch feeling it as her back buckles. We're under 2 minutes now before Becky Lynch gets an ally in the ring.
Take another look at the impact of Lynch's spine connecting with that steel diamond plate between two rings. And this is a good strategy by Bayley. Reserve energy right now. She has the upper hand, but Bayley realizes that upper hand's going to evaporate in a matter of moments.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you about that strategy when we get there and what Bayley's going to need to do. But once again, continuing to punish Becky here. And a Let's Go Becky chants ringing through Allstate.
It's almost like those chants are driving Bayley, inciting the role model.
And now Becky driving Bayley into the cage, and Becky Lynch on that basement drop kick to the belly of Bayley. And another one from Becky. And now looking for disarmer. Now remember, if Bayley taps here, it doesn't matter. The match hasn't even started. Becky with the disarmer. Meanwhile, Dakota Kai with a kendo stick through the cage to Becky Lynch. Now, that's legal because there's no disqualifications. And Dakota, who, well, seemingly has become a leader of sorts of this group, Corey, paying dividends.
Dakota Kai has proven invaluable to Damage Control as a whole, even while on the shelf with an injury. Dakota being a game changer here in the early moments.
Well, you know, we talked about Becky about to get the advantage, but with Dakota Kai out there, things are even. And who will enter next for Becky Lynch's team? Oh, and the kendo stick by Bayley. But Becky is about to get a reinforcement. Who's it going to be? And again, this is about strategy, who you send into the match next, and it's the unhinged Shotzi. Shotzi makes her way to the ring, and now Shotzi and Becky Lynch and Bayley Smart. Bayley Smart trying to keep the door closed and not allow Shotzi to get in. But that does not last as the door is bounced off the face of Bayley, and Shotzi's come to play. The ballsy badass is bringing out the chairs.
Much to the delight of the sanguineous WWE Universe tonight in Chicago.
Taking out the trash. Shotzi loading up the ring with weapons. Things are about to get wild. So now you're Bayley, Corey, and you're in the ring with both Shotzi and Becky Lynch.
Oh! Well, Bayley did what I would have done, attempt to use a steel chair to your advantage, but Shotzi a step ahead.
And that clock, of course, starting as they close the door. We're under 3 minutes to Bayley getting a backup in the ring. Nice cross body by Shotzi. Down goes Bayley face first. Shotzi really, and I talked about this last night, Corey, she's the wild card, the dark horse in this. You don't know what she's quite capable of.
Shotzi certainly unpredictable. We've seen glimpses of her daredevil style, if you want to call it that. It's very unique.
Well, there's an example of it. Launching herself off the steel steps into Bayley.
Sacrificing her own well-being to take out her opponent.
Shotzi, once a NXT Tag Team Champion, doing it alone now. Becky's still trying to recover in the corner of the ring. Suicide dive. Shotzi just landed on the top of her head.
Once your team gains the advantage from this point on out, if you find yourself in a fair fight, quite simply, you didn't plan your mission properly. It's up to Team Becky and Shotzi right now to maintain the advantage on behalf of their team.
And now the tug-of-war with a kendo stick between Becky and Bayley. And Becky now has the advantage, unloading on Bayley. Bayley in a corner. And Bayley trying to climb her way out of harm's way, and it's not going to help.
Remember, if Bayley escapes the cage, her entire team, all of Damage Control, will forfeit War Games.
Yeah, but Shotzi and Becky they want to beat the hell out of Bayley.
Sometimes it's about self-preservation. You got to live to fight another day.
Bayley hanging up on the top of the steel cage. Shotzi and Becky there. Under a minute left to Bayley as a partner in the ring.
And Bayley just made the mistake of looking down and realizing just how far it is to the canvas below. Not a trip the role model wants to take.
It bounced off the cage. And now Bayley trying to block, and now Bayley delivering some offense to Becky and Shotzi. Self-preservation, as you mentioned. And Bayley drops to the ring. And now what do Becky and Shotzi plan? Bayley crawling toward the other side of the ring.
Good strategy by Bayley. Create as much distance between yourself and your attacker.
Yeah, but Becky and Shotzi up the ropes, knock Bayley down. Bayley's going to have an ally, though, in under 10 seconds.
That ally is about to jump into the lion's den with two hungry lionesses.
And here comes the WWE Women's Champion, the most experienced woman in this War Game match. This is her 5th War Games match, more than anybody in history here in WWE.
And Io thrives inside of War Games. We're going to introduce chains into the battle.
Io Sky goes right after Becky Lynch, and the WWE Champion, who cashed in her Money in the Bank contract at SummerSlam. Now sends Shotzi across the ring. And now Becky Lynch. Becky, though, able to counter. And a right to...
Caught Sky right on the chin.
Now Becky hung up in the top rope. And Io Sky, the WWE Women's Champion. Off the top rope.
Oh!
And the missile drop kick takes out Shotzi and Lynch into a kick up.
from the sure-footed genius of the Sky, living up to that moniker.
Again, you touched on it earlier, Corey. Iyo Sky has really made a name for herself over the years inside the War Games structure. Those double knees from Sky.
Iyo has almost single-handedly turned the tides of this matchup.
Well, it's important with the offense, too, because it's allowed Bayley to recuperate.
Exactly. And now Damage Control looking to inflict more damage.
Quite sure what they're doing here. Bayley hands off the trash can. Becky.
Cole, do you remember what happened last time Iyo had a trash can in War Games?
Oh, yes. And now the double team on Becky by Bayley and Sky. Becky's team will have the advantage again in less than a minute and a half. WWE fans trying to will Becky Lynch on. And the man putting up a fight. Again, inflict as much damage as possible to your opponents before the match officially begins. And a double superplex. And Becky may be down and out.
This all boils down to cohesion. Experience as a team, being on the same page.
And that's what Bayley touched on last night. And now Bayley and Iyo Sky going to turn their attention to punishing Shotzi. And Damage Control doing a nice job now. Understanding that in just a bit, Shotzi and Becky will have backup.
This could be a pivotal point in the matchup. Shotzi looking all out of sorts on the top turnbuckle.
Well, she landed on her head when she came through the ropes with a suicide dive a bit ago and hasn't been the same since.
I mean, the spikes didn't protect her?
Next up, the captain, the EST, Bianca Belair.
Belair feeling like Doc Holliday tonight. That's okay. I got 2 braids, one for each of you.
And Bianca Belair gonna go right to work with those aforementioned braids. And Iyo Sky feeling it, the woman who cashed in Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. And Belair is not forgotten. Remember, this whole thing started between Bianca Belair and Damage Control. And Bianca Belair is not forgotten. That's why we're inside War Games tonight.
The sound of Belair using her braids like a bullwhip. The sound is absolutely sickening.
Damage Control has ticked off so many people. Shotzi had her head shaved by the group. Bianca Belair was sent on the injured list for a couple of months, lost her championship because of Damage Control.
It could be said that Bianca was the original target of Damage Control to begin with.
She's had tremendous rivalries with Bayley as well, and even her teammates. Becky, Charlotte, and look at Bayley trying to use the chair as a shield. And now Bianca, spine buster. And now using her braid against her.
Ingenious strategy by Bayley and Iyo.
Trying to pull Belair off the ropes. Bianca, though, what an athletic move by Bianca. And now, double suplex.
My goodness.
The strongest. Shotzi. Top rope. Becky. Shotzi. Becky with a leg drop. Shotzi with a splash.
And Team Belair once again standing strong in War Games.
And again, showing you the importance of the advantage. And things will even up in just about 10 seconds. The former NXT Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion, Kairi Sane, marching to the ring to even the odds for Damage Control.
Seems to me like Kairi's in no hurry to come to the aid of the rest of Damage Control.
Well, we've talked about the issues she had with Bayley. Bayley, of course, taking her out of action.
I'm sure they've had plenty of time to discuss it. It's all water under the bridge, I'm sure.
Well, Kairi was just looking for a weapon.
Kairi oddly emotionless, almost cold looking.
Yeah, she's a different Kairi Sane than the one we saw a couple of years ago. And using that trash can lid to her advantage. And now Kairi going right after Bianca Belair.
Athleticism by Kairi Sane.
Kairi putting on a show. Drop kick, Bianca goes down. Kairi Sane now. Oh! That sliding forearm drives Belair into the cage. Right in front of Dakota Kai, who's looking on outside the War Games structure.
Kairi taking a moment to fly.
Io Sky now with a slam to Shotzi. Bayley goes to work on Becky. Now Damage Control is starting to slow the pace, Corey, starting to take over.
Things are looking very, very bad for Ms. Shotzi right now.
Burying Shotzi in steel chairs.
The more bodies and weapons that are introduced into this War Games, I have expect the Warriors and the Baseball Furies to show up.
The elbow by Kairi to Shotzi after being launched by Io Sky, and Damage Control has completely taken over this match.
Look at this, Io providing the assist from an extra height. Kairi Sane with an elbow on top of the chairs, all into the guts of Shotzi.
Kairi Sane with a big smile on her face. Bianca gets a reinforcement. That will be the final entry of the match. Charlotte Flair, final entry of the match for Belair's team in just about a minute. And now Bianca Belair looking to turn the tables. Lifting Kairi up high. Pressing Kairi Sane into Bayley and Io Sky. And now Bianca Belair asserting her dominance.
Bianca, Shotzi, and Lynch with a few extra moments to recover, to regain their bearings as Damage Control is down.
And in just a matter of moments, as Charlotte Flair joins this fray, we'll see if she and Becky Lynch have actually put their differences aside for the sake of the team tonight. Kairi with a chair to the spine. Bayley went to Belair as well. And once again, Damage Control.
Well, hats off to this point to Becky Lynch and Bayley for the brutality they've both put one another and themselves through. The originals, the OGs of this War Games matchup, but here comes the Queen.
First time ever in her career, the 14-time world champion, Charlotte Flair, will enter the War Games structure. And once again, Bianca Belair's team has the advantage. 4-on-3 now.
Charlotte Flair, a game changer, has to be the favorite in any environment, including War Games.
And now Charlotte and her team have 3 minutes to do the most damage they can before Bayley's team evens the odds.
And this one could be all but over by the time the clock strikes 0 again. Charlotte Flair, the advantage for her team.
Kairi Sane wanted nothing to do with the Flair chops. She actually fell down in the corner trying to avoid him.
The Queen flexing her ferocity on all of Damage Control.
And now the fall-away slam into the ropes to Kairi Sane, and the 14-time champion, a tag champion, a Royal Rumble winner, one of the greatest of all time, Charlotte Flair, trying to take over this match.
Look at the power of Charlotte Flair.
And Io Sky launched into the steel cage and crashing to the mat.
Falling from that height, got to feel like a cheese grater down your spine if you're Io Sky.
Now, Kairi and Bayley, a double team on Charlotte, sending her into the other ring. This is the pace, I believe, that really aids damage control.
They're all on the same page, and communication is of such importance in a War Games environment. You have to communicate with your teammates. You're going to see different looks you didn't plan for. You're going to have to call audibles. You have to communicate.
And what's important about this rally by Charlotte now is that it gives the rest of her team some time to recuperate. As Charlotte comes off the top rope, blockbuster to both Kyrie and Bayley.
There's something about an inverted natural selection.
Oh, that's almost what it was like.
But here we go again. This is where it all goes south. Go ahead, start swinging.
Charlotte and Becky over the years. And now Io Sky shoving them into one another. Remember Becky and Charlotte, the great match at Evolution. One of the greatest women matches in WWE history. They battled at Survivor Series 2 years ago. Hell in a Cell back in 2018. The main event at WrestleMania a couple of times. Charlotte now. Climbing in the corner with Io Sky on her shoulders. Up now to the top rope.
What is Charlotte thinking?
Well, Io Sky trying to get out of harm's way.
Io still has that chain.
Yeah, steel chain in hand, hanging onto the top of the cage, on the shoulders of Charlotte. Finally, Charlotte is knocked off.
Oh, no.
And now Io, not quite sure what she's up to, and she's dropping that chain down to Dakota Kai.
What on earth?
Well, this isn't Bennett.
This is brilliant. It's like a dumbwaiter, Cole.
That's another way to get the garbage can into the cage. Io Sky now has a trash can in hand at the top of the cage.
You hear Io's every move like Jacob Marley up there in War Games. That chain clanging around everywhere.
What is she doing? What on earth is Io Sky have in mind here? She's standing on the top of the cage with a trash can. She's the genius of the sky, but this is ridiculous. Oh my God! Io Sky from the top of the cage with a trash can on her head, wiping out everybody.
And now Asuka can come pick the bones.
What unbelievable strategy by the genius of the sky. And now the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, makes her way to War Games for the second time in her career.
More kendo sticks.
She's not done yet.
Let's take another look at this death-defying maneuver by Io.
She launched herself like a rocket.
You can barely hear yourself think here in Chicago because Asuka decided to introduce a table into the battle.
And Dakota helping out. Now a fire extinguisher. There's chairs and kendo sticks, fire extinguishers and tables. And now Asuka is in the ring.
And now, let the War Games begin!
Now the match is underway. First team to gain pinfall or submission will win War Games.
It's a technicality at this point, Cole. Look at damage control. Standing strong, heavily armed. Team EST is down and just about out.
I can't believe Io Sky's back on her feet, kendo stick in hand, with one of the craziest things I've ever seen moments ago.
Damage control just teeing off on the opposition.
Well, living up to their name tonight, doing all kinds of damage inside War Games. Asuka, of course, a history with everybody in the ring. Charlotte Flair ending her 914-day undefeated streak. She was a tag team with Io in Japan as Triple Tails. She teamed with Kairi Sane and the Kabuki Warriors here in WWE. She was a tag team champion with Charlotte as well. And now, oh, look at Becky and Bianca Belair chained together. Sitting ducks as Damage Control take them out. Ingenious strategy.
A brilliant way to neutralize the other team. By any means necessary, you don't want anybody interfering with the damage you're looking to inflict. Belair down, Bayley grinning from ear to ear.
The death-defying act of Io Sky coming off the top of the cage a bit ago.
Wait. Keep your eye on Shotzi.
I was going to say change the momentum, but Shotzi, missed! Shotzi missed it and blinded. And now Becky Lynch is inside that trash can. Damage Control. Here's the cover by Asuka. Kick out by Becky.
Well, credit to the man who's never lacking in intestinal fortitude as we look again at the face full of the dreaded mist suffered by Shotzi, and then Asuka following it with a missile drop kick from the top turnbuckle into the trash can that somehow Lynch survived.
And again, Corey, that move by Io Sky off the top of the cage inside the trash can has completely turned around the entire momentum of this match.
And I think what the most disturbing aspect of this match is right now, Cole, are the smiles on the faces of Kairi, of Io, of Asuka, of Bayley, who are enjoying every second of this.
And there's been so much speculation that they wouldn't get along, that they wouldn't function as a unit. A lot of rumors out there about where Bayley fit into all this, but they have been working unbelievably well here in this match tonight.
Teams always get along when there's a W at the end of the story.
Or when it's self-preservation in an environment like this.
Kairi just driving the edge of the kendo stick into the rib cage of Becky Lynch.
Again, the match is officially underway. Pinfall or submission will win this.
Look at Bayley and Io working together, attempting to take out the Queen Charlotte Flair as the other members of Damage Control neutralize the other members of the team. This is genius strategy.
And Becky Lynch now, Bianca Belair involved. Everybody in the corner. Bianca and Becky.
Stereo power bombs. And Charlotte Flair surveying the battlefield.
She's not going to go up there. Is she thinking about going up there?
No, Charlotte.
Oh my God, Charlotte, come on now.
No way. You
Charlotte,
don't
get
need
down
to do
from
this.
there. Charlotte's 15 feet above the ring. No way. No freaking way.
Oh, she nailed it. Cover
For the win. And a kick out.
My God, the Queen went for broke and it paid off. From the tip top of the cage, sacrificing her own body, Charlotte Flair took out all of Damage Control and very nearly won War Games.
We have seen some incredible moments already inside the War Games match to kick off Survivor Series tonight. And now, Becky and Bayley and Charlotte, 3 of the 4 horsewomen going after one another. And now Becky and Charlotte double team on Io Sky. Working together, Graves. And once again, longtime rivals. Becky and Charlotte with Kairi Sane up top. Down goes Kairi.
Look who's standing tall now.
Working together for the good of the team. What a moment! And now Asuka And Io trying to take advantage.
Charlotte looking for the figure 4.
Looking for the figure 8. Becky with an armbar. Ropes don't cause a break. It doesn't matter.
Charlotte looking to bridge up. Becky trying to fully extend Asuka's arm.
Yeah, figure 8 in now by Charlotte. Armbar in by Becky. Kyrie and Bayley on the top ropes. Elbow by Bayley. Kyrie save!
Elbow, but Becky got her knees
And now
up.
the disarmer. Becky with the disarmer locked in. Is Kyrie gonna tap out? And Bayley with a running knee.
That knee may have just turned Lynch's lights out. Big right by the EST.
And now Bianca, Asuka on her shoulders. Shotzi, missile drop kick, down goes Asuka, landing hard. Shotzi cover to put Asuka away. Bayley saving the matchup, flying right over and almost taking Charles Robinson's head off.
Bayley right now is the MVP for Damage Control, keeping this matchup going in the face of adversity. My goodness, what a sequence of events. Save after save, initiated by Bayley.
Bayley, an incredible performance so far in this match. And she was the one people were worried about. And now Becky.
Inverted DDT drops Kairi Sane.
And Bayley looking for the Rose Plant. Connects. Cover on Becky. Oh, I thought she was going to go for the cover. Didn't quite get there because Shotzi got involved. And now Shotzi. Down goes Bayley.
Asuka looked to deliver the miss. The fire extinguisher instead.
Bianca with a mist of her own. And now a chair to the back of Belair. That's one way to thwart the blue mist. And now Shotzi. A
Tiger suplex.
Oh!
Oh my God!
Shotzi's face implanted in that trash can lid.
Kyrie's face implanted on the boot of Charlotte Flair.
And Charlotte looking for a spear to put this match away. And Bayley took the bullet for her team. Charlotte spearing Bayley, shoving Kyrie out of the way. And now Shotzi, top rope at Senton. And now Bianca with Bayley up high.
Poetic justice.
Belair with a KOD. A kiss of death. That had to feel good for Bianca Belair. This all started between Bianca and Damage Control months and months ago. And now Bayley, who can barely stand, lifted up to the second rope. Becky with a manhandle slam through the table. The cover. Team Bianca with the win.
Here are your winners, the team of Shotzi, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and the man, Becky Lynch!
What a gutsy, what a wonderful performance tonight. The story, of course, Becky Lynch and Charlotte reconciling here for the good of the team inside War Games.
They say there are no atheists in foxholes. There are no loners in war games. Tonight, these 4 women survived hell and will live to tell the tale.
What an incredible, gutsy performance by Shotzi, the powerhouse Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and the man Becky Lynch. Now that is the way to kick off Survivor Series War Games.
This match had everything you could have wanted and more.
I'm sorry, Corey, because I still can't believe this.
Well, let's watch it again, Cole.
This is a human projectile. Io Sky put herself inside a trash can, and launched herself like a rocket off the top of a cage.
She effectively turned herself into a missile. And Charlotte Flair said, I'll see your missile and raise you a moonsault from the top of the cage. And here comes teamwork like we didn't think we would see. Lynch and Flair side by side. Becky able to thwart Kyrie's attempt at the insane elbow. The disarmor was in, and this is where Bayley would keep the matchup alive single-handedly for Damage Control.
Well, I think if you look at an MVP of Damage Control tonight, it had to be Bayley. She was absolutely incredible up to the end. How do you thwart the miss? You use a fire extinguisher, of course. And Bayley also sacrificing herself, Corey. She took the bullet for Kairi Sane. The spear from Charlotte.
Which was the prelude to the end. A manhandle slam from the ropes through a table.
So when you win a hell of a match inside a structure like War Games, where do you celebrate? Well, on top of the cage, of course. And folks, we're just getting started. There's 17,000 plus here. They're as loud as hell. They're making noise. This is Survivor Series War Games.